So
Brendan, are you connecting?
Yeah, I hit share it and I have it enlarged.
It's not sharing yet over the.
Try it again.
You need to press the blue button, the blue share button after you click the green share button.
Oh yeah, there it is.
there we go.
Okay.
There it is.
Okay, we're good?
Good.
Okay. So hello, everyone. Today I'm going to talk about cultural connection. This was not my brainchild. It actually was something I inherited. In many ways, I refer to it to clients as Groupon before Groupon. So essentially what it is a same-day ticket selling platform to help theaters sell last-minute tickets and generate a little bit of money for the station. But really the brainchild behind it was, his goal was to really help the smaller theater groups. So I'm going to walk you a little bit through it today. So Cultural Connection started 19 years ago. And initially, as I said, it was to help small theaters sell same-day tickets to their theatrical performances. Over the 19 years, it's really grown to a point where really every major performing arts center and resident company is using it. So our major opera company, our ballet, all the performing arts centers will use it for various performances. The program was modeled after the TKTS booth in Times Square, where people could get same-day tickets at a discount. The mission never really was to make money, but we did end up building up an interesting platform, which I'll go into today. The mission behind Cultural Connections is to provide access to everyone in the community to live and local theater performance at a reduced price and help the theaters as well. So it was really kind of a benefit. And it's really grown since then. Now, a couple of things, I'm just going to pause for a second. So before I started here 3 years ago, the program never went dormant, but it never had the backing of the individual that started it. And so now we're in kind of a regrouping and revamping stage. So we somewhat of a downturn as far in the last couple of years as far as new folks coming into the database, but the numbers are still pretty strong. So how it works is that theaters, we created, WLN created a proprietary content management system. And through this system, individual theaters can load their performances for the season if they care to, and they do not have to necessarily put them up for a discount. So once they realize that something's not selling well, then they can go ahead and determine what inventory, how many tickets, and put them out for sale. Theaters can manage how many tickets, the location, the dates. We recommend 50% off, but there's really nothing holding them to do that. So that they control it, so we are not involved with actually the copy editing or the inputting of anything whatsoever. One of the dilemmas with many theaters is they all have different maps, and we weren't really going to get into having different seating maps. So there is a description that's provided by the venue that says theater tickets will be between this row and that row. There'll be general admission. They'll be assigned at pickup. Again, the idea is for them to be able to move those tickets. And it's also so that we make it as kind of quick and easy as possible. So the description will say the general area where the tickets are. If they may say row Y, the entire back row, the last 3 rows of the theater. It's up to the theater's discretion as far as what they want to include as far as the description. And then one thing that's interesting, we also have an event calendar page on the WLN website. I'm sure many of you do. And the way it was integrated that if any theater that puts their performances on the on Cultural Connection, it automatically populates on the WLN event calendar, which is, for us, it's one of the highest viewed calendar pages, or one of the pages, highest viewed pages on our website. So what we encourage a lot of our folks to do is just go ahead and put their entire season. They don't have to put any inventory, they don't have to sell any tickets, but then they're ready if they want, instead of having to enter it in the event calendar page as well as Cultural Connections at a later date, they can put it all in Cultural Connections. It'll automatically populate on the event calendar, and then if and when they want to utilize discounted tickets, they have that option. The ticket buyers pay $5 per ticket, which is retained by WLRN. So we do not take any of the proceeds from the actual tickets. Basically, at the end of the month, we reconcile our finance department reconciles whatever tickets were sold. We'll cut the theater a check. We do make sure that if they are an underwriter, they don't owe any money or outstanding. but basically they'll get 100% of the proceeds that come in. And as I said, the ticket buyers pay $5. And just as a quick aside, I bought one ticket last night to an event that I already had tickets to. I was adding a person, and the ticket fee was $12.75. So $5 is really, for our market, is pretty low compared to what individuals are paying in the marketplace for service fees. When it was first initiated, we had weekly promos on the radio that would highlight 3 of the venues of that week. So the copy would change out every week saying, here are 3 highlights that are coming up this week. This, again, was really a pet project of my predecessor. So when he left, that portion of it went away. But we've utilized web banners to promote cultural connections on the WLRN website. In season, we will have an e-blast, as many as 2 per month, highlighting the performances that are available. Again, one of the things that's kind of fallen by the wayside here, but we hope to reinvigorate this upcoming season. With regards to the theaters, every year when we sit and meet with our underwriters, we remind them the fact that this is out there for them to use. It's very easy to use. Most all of them are aware of it. It's only when there's new blood, new marketing folks that come in that they're unaware of it, need to be educated. And underwriting is not mandatory for participation. So if somebody wants to participate, they can do so without underwriting on air with us. But what we've also found, it's been a great source of leads. So as theaters go on, we're seeing that they're coming on board, putting tickets out there, and it gives our team an opportunity to say, talk about, obviously you believe in WLRN, you're using this vehicle. Perhaps we could talk to them about an underwriting schedule as well. Some of the back end. So as I said, there is a dashboard that each theater gets. They can go in and make changes as they see fit. We do review the theater postings just to ensure that the image appears okay, because sometimes people will upload an image that isn't compatible. Just make sure the prices, they've done the math correctly, whatever, so we do have, and the underwriting assistant is the one who handles that. Then every day at 5 p.m., it shuts down, and that's so the ticketing information can be sent to the theaters. They can prepare for that evening's performances, make sure they have everything set aside. They'll receive the information via email, and make sure everything's copacetic when people come in to pick up their ticket. Then it reopens actually at midnight the following day, or that night, for new ticket sales. As I mentioned, at the end of every month, everything's reconciled by our accounting department. We keep the $5 fee for kind of cover our bank and processing fees, and then the balance gets sent to the theaters via check. So it's one of those things, we've been doing it for 19 years, so it's pretty turnkey for us. We don't really have any glitches. In fact, I was talking to our IT manager here, and I said, does it ever freeze? Do we ever, and he, knock on wood, we've never had a problem with it freezing or any problem going on there. Some of the numbers, I might have flipped a slide here, but I'll get to the other one in a second. But some of the numbers since inception is we have over 9,000 records in our database of people that have opted in to receive weekly information. We've had, throughout the years, 308 theaters that have signed up to post tickets. Now, these don't necessarily have to be a theatrical performance. If somebody has a speaker series or something else where it's a ticketed event, they can absolutely put it on there. We try to encourage all folks to, all organizations that sell tickets to do that. We've done approximately 17,000 orders since the inception. And for us, after expenses and after writing checks for tickets, we get about 10,000 annually. It's dipped down a little bit. It's dipped down a little bit in recent years because we haven't been pushing it as hard. But again, it's just passive revenue that's been coming in for the station with not a lot of expense with it and not a lot of overhead either. The platform has generated just under $1 million in gross ticket sales, with 800,000 going to in ticket sales to venues. So from an economic standpoint, we're helping the cultural arts organizations in the community boom and prosper by giving them another venue to sell tickets. In a recent underwriting meeting with one of the majors, I said, how do you feel about cultural connections? Do you feel it devalues your product, or that people will outweigh the consumer? And their position on it is, when the curtain goes up, they want to make sure that every seat is used, allocated for. There's no guarantee that anything's going to be on Cultural Connection. So if somebody wants a ticket, they need to really kind of go ahead and buy it. But it gives the last minute person just an option of something to do. As far as staff time, it's about 10 hours a month between our webmaster, our underwriting assistant, and the finance department. Of those three, the finance department said they probably have the least amount of time, a half hour at best a month, having to devote to this. The underwriting assistant, same, she only has a couple hours a month. It's really our webmaster, and a lot of that has to do with the technology used was done 19 years ago. So technology is, so with regards to compliance and things of that, he spends a few hours every month having to make sure over the course of the year to make sure everything's compliant and everything's working smoothly. And as I said, knock on wood, we've not had any problems. This was all built, customized for WLRN at no charge. There was, according to the records, I looked back, 246 hours that was used to complete the project, and we traded this out with a local web firm called Factory Eye Interactive. So they were the ones that have done this for us. Some potentials moving forward. So as I said, this has been dormant for the last couple of years. We're really hoping to implement this again, because we see this as a revenue generating option for us. We're looking to renew some of the on-air promotions to drive sign up and usage as we move into season. We don't have, every station is a little different. Our station is, all of our social media falls under the news. So we don't have an opportunity through underwriting or anywhere else to be able to promote underwriters or performances or, ticket giveaways or things of that nature. So we're looking to build a Cultural Connection social media platform that could utilize this. So it would be, managed by the underwriting team. But as we have, and sometimes like we'll get, and I'm sure others do, we'll get tickets to an event that an organization wants to give away, but there's not enough lead time for our membership folks to get it out. Or it may be something that's not going to be highly, of interest, and they're going into a pledge driver for whatever reason. But here's an option that we would be able to do this and create a social media presence. And then we can also use it, as I said, for ticket giveaways. And then as we can grow the database, we're hoping to be able to add some additional underwriting opportunities. We're fairly limited on the station side as far as what we have for digital and presence on the website. So this could be either revenue generating or just value add that we could provide to our existing clients. So again, it's something that's been going on for a number of years now. It's been very smooth. It's passive income we're able to bring in. It helps our clients and the theatrical community. And it's been really kind of a positive in a day where Groupons and some of those other ones have been dying, at least in this market. And that's my presentation.
Thank you, Brendan. That was wonderful. So before we switch over, I just want to make sure, don't leave the meeting. Okay, I was going to say, please don't leave.
No.
Does anybody have any questions for Brendan about Cultural Connection before we switch over to Ann Galloway? And I'm going to, if you have any questions, just write it in the chat. Yeah? Okay, all right, so we're going to switch over to Ann Galloway, who is the executive director at vtdigger.com. Ann does not have slides, but in the slides, I'm going to share the VTDigger website. So I'm going to share mine. And Ann, you are good to go.
Great, thank you very much. I hope you can hear me okay. Is the sound all right?
It's pretty echoey.
Okay. I'm not sure how to fix that. Is this any better? So it's sounding better now?
Yeah.
We're getting from the chat that it seems muffled, but Ann, go ahead. We understand that that's the best we have. Go ahead.
Okay. Well, sorry about that. I'm here to talk with you about press releases. And we've been running press releases now since 2009. And I realize that a lot of news people think that this is a terrible idea, but I, think that it's really important for people to get information. And press releases provide that for people in a way that's unfiltered. We think that our readers are sophisticated enough to understand the difference between the 10 to 12 hard news stories we produce a day and the press releases we post, which have a press release byline on them. So we clearly identify them, and we also include information about who is responsible for writing the press release. We take material from utilities, state government, businesses, political parties. The only thing we don't run on a regular basis are press releases about individuals who have been named positions in businesses. We are currently offering press releases as a service for free, and our project is to begin to start charging for some press releases that are provided to us by businesses. And we're developing a PR portal that will enable us to allow people to put their own press releases into a form, and then we'll have an editor who approves or deletes the press releases. The reason that we began offering press releases in the beginning was because it was a way for us to get information out to people very quickly, and it also enabled us to build our SEO. At this point, we are hoping, like I said, to continue to build this out to as a self-service portal, and that way we'll be able to handle this more easily. At this point, we have someone working about 20 hours a week posting press releases because it is quite a bit of material. We also have an obit project that we're working on, and we are again using a form that funeral homes and individuals can use to post material about their deceased loved one, and then an editor approves the material on the back end. Eventually, we hope to charge a small fee for that. But at this time, we're not charging a fee. And I don't, because I'm kind of muffled, I'm not sure if people can hear me or not, and if you want me to continue, Lindsay, but that's the long and short of it.
Thank you, Anne. So we do have a question, and how much do you think you can charge for press releases?
Well, we were looking for a nominal charge that would enable us to cover the cost. And so we are going to try $25 per press release. If you're an underwriter at BT Digger, it would be free. We're also looking to charge for obituaries, and we'll start with a nominal fee there too of about $25.
So, Anne, this is Joan. I can ask questions by voice if people don't have them, because I'm so intrigued by this project, because you're bringing back something that is in traditional classifieds, right? Like the obituary model, at least.
Right.
And so I'm curious, and I hope others have questions too, but I'm curious, like, where do you see the interest in bringing back the obituaries into, or not bring them back, but bring them to a digital first publication? And do you think, like, what have you seen that makes you find the market demand for it?
Well, we get requests from readers, and we also know that the Burlington Free Press, our largest daily newspaper here in Vermont, is really suffering. They're up for sale again. The second largest daily newspaper is also in big trouble, the Rutland Herald and the Times-Argus, and people need a place to put obituaries, and traditional newspapers are having a hard time attracting readership at this point, and they are charging a lot for obituaries. They can run between $500 and $1,000, and they're limited in what people can say in obits. So we saw an opportunity in the market. What we didn't count on was the fact that people are creatures of habit, and they tend to go to traditional places because that's what they know. And so we have been beginning to really market the obituary platform by producing a marketing sheet that we take around to funeral homes, and we're actually talking to funeral directors about our project so that they know we exist. Many of them read us, but they are worried that their older readers, or their older clientele rather, who come in aren't online and don't think to put things online. And so I try to override that objection by simply saying, you know, everyone has younger relatives who might want to know about what's happening, and they're all on Facebook. So we think it's important to offer this service. It is, we've had about a dozen obits so far. The platform has been working for about 6 to 8 weeks, and we've already gotten 32,000 page views for the obits we've posted.
There's a question in the chat that people heard that the obituaries are $25, but missed the price you're going to charge for press releases. Can you share that again?
Yes, we want to charge $25 for press releases as well. But if the press release is coming from a business that is already underwriting with us, it will be free. And we will continue to run government public service announcements at no cost.
And in general, how much does an underwriter cost?
Yes, we sell on a run of site basis. We sell we have a $10 cost per 1,000 impressions. So a typical buy is about $200 for 20,000 impressions. We have underwriters who spend as much as $26,000 a year, and underwriters who spend a few thousand per year.
Okay, another question from the chat. What is the workload for your team to create the press releases and obituaries, and do you have a dedicated person or people?
We have a part-time person who posts the press releases, and we have a news clerk who reviews the obituaries and posts them. Eventually, we are going to have one news clerk who posts all of this material for us, and it really is probably maybe 15 to 20 hours a week at this point. The biggest expense that we've incurred is developing the obituary section, which took quite a bit of time, and really had to be tested, and there was some functionality on the back end that we had to adjust, and of course there was the design itself. So that was the most time-consuming part of it. Now that it's built, it's pretty straightforward and easy to use, and because the users are putting the content online and we're merely approving it, it's a lot easier for us to manage. It also reduces errors.
So, and there's a question from me. Just joke. So I came home from meeting you and hearing about this and said to our digital director, hey, we should consider this. And the response was, never would we jeopardize our editorial integrity by putting this kind of content onto our site. And I was like, oh, but it's for SEO. And I gave the same explanations you'd given. Can you talk more about that? And I realized your position at VT Digger puts you in a unique place to make the call, but how would you recommend other stations, nonprofit organizations think through this?
Well, we have a separate section for press releases, both in our email and on our website. And it's really an additional service on top of the news that we provide every day. And VT Digger has a reputation for producing really hard-hitting, in-depth, and investigative news. So, you know, we've been able to override concerns about the press releases by producing great original content, and we produce a lot of it every day. So the press releases are a sideline. They're not, you know, the main fare. And so, you know, people are used to getting them, and at first people balked, but I saw it as kind of, from an editorial standpoint, I saw it as a jujitsu move, because so many local newspapers were simply rewriting press releases and posting them as news. I thought it was actually more honest to say, this is a press release, and this is news. They're really two very different things. I mean, as we all know as news people, news is what somebody somewhere wants to suppress, and the rest is advertising. The press releases are essentially, you know, free content that is in addition to the real news that we produce. And I don't want to pretend that it's news.
Those are really good points, Anne. I really appreciate that.
I knocked everyone into silence.
Are there any other questions before we move on to the third presentation? Okay, so now we're going to move on to Matt, who is part of our team here working on affiliate marketing.
That's just the going to my presentation.
Oh,
Yep, that's up on
there we go.
All right. Hey, can everyone hear me well? All right. Hello? All right. So, hey, everyone. My name is Matt Alfiero. I've been working on the WBUR Guides project, an affiliate marketing experiment by WBUR's BizLab, funded by the Linfest Institute. So for this presentation, we'll first go over affiliate marketing in a publishing context. Secondly, we'll take a look at how we built and promoted the site. And finally, we'll cover the importance of tracking and analytics. So affiliate marketing in a publishing context. For those of you who may not be familiar, the affiliate marketing model is where online retailers pay commission on traffic or sales generated from online referrals. One prominent example of this in publishing would be The Wirecutter, a New York Times company, which highlights various product categories, providing readers with informational reviews and links to purchase. If readers happen to click on links in The Wirecutter to products on external sites and subsequently make purchases on those external sites, The Wirecutter earns an affiliate commission on those sales. So affiliate marketing has been generating more and more revenue in recent years, and now even drives as many e-commerce orders in the US as email marketing. Each channel accounts for 16% of all US e-commerce orders. Approximately 15% of digital media industry's revenue now comes from affiliate marketing. An article on businessinsider.com has an interesting quote highlighting a predicament publishing companies find themselves in concerning exploring affiliate marketing as an additional revenue stream. Let's take a look at the quote. In an effort to balance editorial integrity and revenue needs, publishers are taking a more native approach to affiliate marketing by embedding product links within organic content, and it seems to be working well. The notion of balancing editorial integrity with revenue needs is a very real predicament that publishing firms can find themselves in while exploring opportunities with affiliate marketing. Later, we'll touch on several points regarding how this ended up manifesting itself in the context of our project as well. In just a few moments, we'll take a look at an example of what WBUR native approach to affiliate marketing looks like, embedding product links within organic content. Before we do, however, let's take a look at some of the publishing companies engaging with affiliate marketing. So, as you can see, with so many major players engaging in this space, affiliate marketing definitely seems to be a channel worth exploring. So the initial exploration into affiliate marketing at WBUR came in the form of book links. Anytime there was a book mentioned on air that ended up in an article, affiliate links sent users to the books. You can check out our best performing books here. An article here and now. So this article by Here and Now, resident chef Kathy Gunst spotlights some of Kathy's favorite cookbooks. 1 second, let me pull that back up. There we go. Spotlights some of Kathy's favorite cookbooks. And you can see how, within the article, there are links to Amazon where readers can potentially purchase the books, earning WBUR an affiliate commission for every purchase. So book linking led to approximately $10,000 in annual revenue for fiscal year 19. The results from these book links spurred continued exploration into opportunities with affiliate marketing. Our exploration into affiliate marketing led us to CJ Affiliate and Amazon's affiliate program, two of the largest affiliate platforms available to marketers. To use an analogy, you can think of these networks akin to how one would think of dating sites. These platforms connect brands to advertisers in order to facilitate relationships underlying the affiliate marketing model and provide the mechanisms for tracking performance of affiliate marketing efforts and awarding commissions. CJ's affiliate network is a platform for affiliate marketers to connect with brands, which generally offers higher commissions than Amazon's affiliate program. But the opportunities are much more niche as they're tied to specific brands. On the other hand, although Amazon's affiliate program generally offers lower commissions, there's a very broad opportunity to earn affiliate commissions through nearly all of Amazon's vast array of products. An additional benefit of Amazon's affiliate program is that affiliate marketers are credited and receive commissions for any purchase their outbound traffic makes on Amazon, not just products reviewed or linked to originally by the affiliate marketing content. So this means if I came to WBUR Guides to read about shoes and clicked on a link to Amazon, but then instead browsed for hats and made a purchase, WBUR Guides would still receive a commission on that purchase. One of the benefits we perceive as a result of engaging with both CJ and Amazon is a more diverse brand affiliation. In instances where the majority of our products promoted link through to Amazon, we've received feedback from readers indicating distaste towards driving traffic solely to Amazon. So let's take a look at how we went about building and promoting the site. So the timeline for this project began in April and ran the past 4 months. Originally consisted of web development in order to support the experimentation. Towards the end of May, the site went live and ongoing promotions began. For the past 2 months, over the course of June and July, we've been iterating our tactics based on insights gathered from the data to improve our approach and find out what resonates best with our prospective market. Initial discussions with WBUR's editorial side of the house really highlighted the conflict of interest mentioned before in the quote from Business Insider concerning preserving WBUR's journalistic integrity. The need for an editorial firewall, so to speak, was identified as the editorial team did not want the content to be perceived as WBUR journalism. A few ways we pivoted to preserve the editorial firewall came in the form of changing the site name from WBUR Recommends to WBUR Guides to avoid the perception of pushing products, as well as referring to our writers distinctly as outside contributors, as so not to be confused with WBUR journalists. We brought on freelance writers outside the organization to produce the content for our site in order to disentangle any further conflict with the editorial firewall and to have more flexibility in creating content. The website was developed on WordPress as a separate site from WBUR.org, and initial development focused around creating the content where we were interested in testing, being the pages our guides would live on. This meant we did not have to invest a lot of effort spinning up an entire website, and were able to move quickly developing our MVP, or minimum viable product, which is what we were interested in testing being the guides. We did, however, develop a homepage later on as another aspect of the site to test, but initially solely focused on getting the infrastructure we needed in place to test our affiliate model. Let's take a look at the site now. So, let's take a look at the site. Here's the homepage displaying all of our 11 guides we've created for readers to browse through. And when we click through on one of our guides, we can really see how the content is displayed on the site. The links within the content will bring individuals to external sites where they'll be tracked. And if any purchases are made, WBUR will earn an affiliate commission. And you can actually see some of the tracking code up top. So WBUR's indicators right here embedded in the link. Also, back to the guides, at the end of each guide, we have a feedback form, which also includes an email capture, which is one thing that we wanted to build out to test as one of the channels. And we have links to other guides to facilitate continued browsing on our site and reading of other guides. Another critical component we integrated on the site was a disclaimer in every article, really wanting to be transparent about what was going on. This disclaimer was meant to protect WBUR and tied back to the notion of preserving journalistic integrity and being transparent with the WBUR's audience of the potential for earning commissions off of this content. So these transparency statements can be seen at the top of each guide, and we'll link to an about statement, which says a little bit more about what's going on with this model and what we're testing. So, let's go back to the presentation. All right. We promoted WBUR guides through many different channels, some of which were free channels owned and operated by WBUR, or WBUR's organic channels, so to speak, such as WBUR.org. Specifically on WBUR.org, we were able to promote within banner ads on the homepage, shown on the left, where call to actions would send users to our guides, as well as in-article mentions where links would be posited in relevant WBUR articles in order to send traffic to our guides. Another channel we wanted to test was WBUR's Twitter account, but unfortunately, a brush-in with the Editorial Firewall came in at this point, and as Twitter was meant to exclusively be news coverage, limiting our access to experiment in that channel. Fortunately, another Twitter account, WBUR Extra, is a Twitter handle at WBUR which provides a home for content falling outside of news category. Although this account didn't have as large of a reach, we used it as a proxy to determine what type of engagement we may be able to get on the main account. So, WBUR presents a unique opportunity to test alternative forms of content, and in your organization, it may be beneficial to have a similar channel if certain social channels are limited to specifically news coverage. Spinning up this type of account may not create such a huge workload that you may imagine, as much of the content being posted through WBUR Extra are simply retweets from other handles around the organization. So this could really, be a channel to leverage for testing out ideas if you don't have access to other ones. Since we didn't have access to many organic channels, we wanted to drive traffic to the site to see how it would perform, and we leveraged Facebook ads to do so. We'll take a look to see how these various channels performed in a few moments. And lastly, as mentioned earlier, email marketing was another channel we tried to test. Generally, building email lists can be a great tactic, and so we really wanted to see how that would work, with subsequently engaging users through it. So, sort of the project results. Overall, we drove 23,000 readers to our guides in this project, and unfortunately, the results were not as well as we want them to be. So we'd only earned about $155 and sold 77 products, but we'll see sort of, maybe some of the insights to tell us why that was, and we'll take a look from there. So the importance of analytics and tracking. So it's really critical that, tracking is implemented at every step, and because we want to be precise about, which campaigns we're running, which campaigns are driving traffic to our site, and which users are coming from which campaigns, and how do those users perform or behave when they land on the page. So two of the critical components we use to make sure that this would happen are UTM tracking and Google Analytics event tracking. If we take a look at the campaign builder, UTM tracking tool, you can see how in this UTM tracker, there is a few different fields here that you can fill in. One is the website URL that you want to send people to. Another could be the source, such as, this traffic is coming from the top banner of our website, or a Facebook ad, or the Twitter, or whatnot. And then you can have a campaign name as an identifier. This way, when individual users come through on these campaigns, we're going to be able to tie their behavior back on our Google Analytics and find out their performance based on campaigns. The second step in this process goes into Google Analytics event tracking. So let's take a look at that. We see here, there's one event set up for every product that we have on the site. If we go in here, we can see that this trigger, for instance, is indicating that a product has been clicked on. and we can tell which product it is based on the label. These triggers are tied to specific tags that will go off depending on what page an individual is on the site, whether it be from the URL containing six most comfortable shoes, and then it will also be triggered when the click URL contains this indicator, which is the website that they're clicking through to, or a product identifier. So with this tracking, we're really able to tie together our campaigns, and then not only what's going on with the click-through rates of campaigns, but what are users doing when they land on page. And we'll see how that impacts us later on. So we see right here on some of the results from the channels, we have email campaign up top, and although our email list only included 14, we can see that click-through rate may be skewed and may not be so significant. The best Facebook ad we had highlighting shoes, as you can see in the bottom left, our star product, we driven 17,000 users to the site for about 1,500 clicks, right? So that click-through rate seems to be the best performing overall out of all the other channels. But then if we take this a step further, since now we know what are users doing on the site, since we have our event tracking set up to tie back to this UTM tracking, we can actually see that product click-through rates are much higher for mid-banners. So mid-banners are coming out to almost 23% click-through rates. So 100 people click through on a banner ad on our website, and 23 of them will click on a product link, which is our best proxy for a purchase. And compared to the best Facebook ad we had, that only has 3%. So clearly, it really matters, to have this tracking, because you want to know not only what's the click-through rate, but what are the behaviors of the users when they come to the page that you're really interested in. So you want to be tracking those behaviors. So let's take a look at some of the control experiments we ran through our Facebook ads to test some of the effects of some various things, such as the logo being present in the creative. So when we ran these Facebook ads, we can see that these are the same ads essentially, and the only differentiating factor is the logo that's present. So when the logo is present, it receives a lower click-through rate than when it isn't. So that might be due to random chance or whatnot. But then we can take that a step further and see, well, what about the product clicks? So people clicking through on the ad when there is a logo present have nearly 2.5 points higher rate of clicking through to products. So it may be evidence to show that those who have an affiliation with the brand are more likely to engage with our content. And if we hadn't had event tracking set up, we might not know this number. That just goes to show it's very important to really track things precisely. Another example of this came when we were testing our audiences. So we took this advertisement on the left, and we decided to test in the Facebook ad 3 different audiences: the Boston designated marketing area, the same area, but only individuals with an NPR interest, and then the same area, but individuals who had liked a property of WBUR on Facebook, such as Here and Now or On Point. So you can see these click-through rates are very similar across the board, and even Boston DMA seems to be the best performing. But if we take that down to product clicks, the product click-through rate on Boston DMA plus WBUR page likes is nearly double that of anything else. So that's a very significant finding, in that this content may be more resonating. This content may resonate better with individuals who have an affiliation to WBUR specifically, instead of maybe others or just general Boston area. So, lesson learned as a takeaway: it's really important to be very precise around your tracking and your analysis, because if you don't have a very precise, granular scope on what's going on, you may just have kind of an aggregate sense of how the site's performing overall, rather than individual components that you're trying to shift and figure out how to optimize. We really want to combine all these things together to get a better insights and better data to be able to help your process along the way. So some takeaways: it's really important to identify and leverage free promotional channels. If you don't have those, it may not be as much work as you think it could be to build them out yourself. And this could be just recycling content, such as retweeting on Twitter through WR Extra. Also, the importance of controlled experimentation. When you are running experiments, you want to make sure that only change the variable you're interested in and keep everything else constant, so you can know that any changes in engagement or behavior can be directly attributed to that one variable that's been changed. Also, the importance of tracking analytics. We've seen here that if you don't have a very precise gauge on what's going on when users land on page or engaging with your content, you may be, missing the mark on what's working best. So, my name is Matt Alfiero, and that's the presentation that I have for you today. Thanks for listening. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to me after this presentation for as long as you need to. And I'm glad to have you here listening with me today. Thanks.
Okay, so there's one question in the chat. How much did you pay the freelancers per piece? Do you know the answer?
I believe the second freelancer was $150 per piece, and the first freelancer was on it was 100 per piece.
Very inexpensive.
Yeah. Very inexpensive. Yeah.
Yeah, if other people have questions, put them in the chat. I mean, what I want to ask Matt is, like, obviously $150 or so is not a lot of revenue. So, we've done a lot of soul searching about this project, and also analytics. Like, do you feel like this is the right direction for a station to go, or would you say just don't even try it?
Well,
the big brands are all doing it. Should we try again?
I think that's a good question, and I really think it's it really comes down to how you're doing it is the best answer to that. I think this quote is very indicative of how to go about doing this. It really goes to show that more native approach, embedding product links in organic content seems to be working. And initially, what spurred the search into affiliate marketing here was that same type of approach. In the native content where readers are, where there's already a community, where there's already an audience built, where readers are attracted to. And so we've seen through the book links that it can be profitable, and that was itself kind of done in a very organic way and embedded very organically into the organization. When we went through this project, we didn't have that much access to be explicit about it. And so I think you really need the backing of the organization, one, because the way we've done it is kind of outside of the channels that we'd like to access. Ideally, the biggest asset any station would have would be on air, for example, but also that's the most risky. And like everyone knows, a reputation takes forever to build and a second to break. So it is like a valid concern, I suppose, for editorial staff to be concerned about revenue with affiliate marketing. But it's also times are changing and models are changing as well. And it seems like those who are finding a way to do it in a way that readers appreciate, such as this article, that's probably going to be the most beneficial path forward.
Well, thank you. Any other questions? Do we have any more?
We have a couple of slides.
I can switch over to those.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so thank you everyone for attending, and thank you Brendan and Anne and Matt.
These slides will be mailed out by registering for the webinar. We added you to our BizLab community email list. We don't email a lot, don't worry. We email one monthly newsletter and about the webinars. So it won't be spammy, but you will receive the slides and the recording of this presentation in a couple of days as part of that mailing list. So just a heads up.
Yeah, I can't find it. I must have closed it.
Okay.
All right, I'm going to stop sharing.
Yeah, thanks, Brendan. So like Lindsay said, the recording will be up. Our next webinar is going to be 4th week of September. And I hope you found this all interesting. And thank you so much for attending.
If you have questions, you can email us at bizlab@wbur.org. Yes, or follow us on Twitter at WBUR BizLab.
Cool. Thanks, everybody. It was Brendan saying thanks.
Thank you.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.